How do I increase my income? Okay, let's take a look at this from a perspective of energy, right? The first thing you want to take a look at here is what do you need versus what do you want? What do you need versus what do you want? Right? We want a lot more than what we need. So if you just take a look at what it is that you need, right? You need shelter, you need some safety, you need some food, right? You need some clothes on your body, you don't need the designer bag, you don't need the designer shoes, right? You don't need to go out to eat. So instantly, if you take a look at what you need versus what you want, and you identify where you are spending on the want. I want the $5 Starbucks coffee on my way to work in the drive-thru because it's easy and now it's a habit. Whereas you could make a cup of coffee at home and put it in a cup and put it in your car and drive with it and save yourself $3, right? So there's a lot more than just taking a look at the balance sheet here and wishing for more money. It's just certain things that you can do that are practical. Then there's certain things, right, on an energetic level. Okay, so let me just give you, this is a big topic, but let me just give you one example. Money is energy. There was a time when what had value might have been sticks and stones, and we traded sticks and stones for what we wanted. Or maybe we traded work or something. But money, since I think before the drachma was created, right? Some of the first monetary systems ended up becoming, a representation of value, and we've just adopted it. But it could be almost anything. In any event, it's energy. Whether you got more money or whether you got more sticks and stones or more marbles in your corner, or more baseball cards, whatever it is that you're using, it has value. So it flows. It flows. Money is like energy. It's very difficult to harness. You cannot harness it in one spot forever. Energy flows. So it comes through you and it goes, right? While it's coming through you, you can work with it. So you work with it to take care of your needs first. And that can be, the survival needs. Do I have shelter? Do I have food and water? Do I have, some clothes? I got some love in my life. That's also one of the big survival ones. Do I feel safe and protected? And then beyond that, it goes to your family that you've created, that you're responsible for, right? So we got to figure out their needs. And then it goes beyond that, right, into community and to those that really need more help than they're able to get for themselves, right? So this would be charitable giving, or granting, or dropping $10 in the hat of somebody who is asking for money because they are having a really rough time, rather than criticizing and judging everybody. The reason I say that is you start to hang on to it, you create a big block, and the money can't flow. So when the money is flowing, the money sees a route that it can go into. Oh, we'll go there. We'll go in that direction. But when it sees a block, the money's energy is like, it goes and it bounces back. So this might be like where you see this a lot, where people, they come into a big windfall or they win the lotto. Winning the lotto is a perfect example. They win the lotto, and what do? They end up broke within 3 or 4 years. Now, they go through $200 million, right? Because they are just not going way beyond the need and not being able to manage it, and they end up broke. So that's an example of the water. It's like water comes in, and then it sees this big block where this person doesn't even know what to do, and they end up with nothing. So the money doesn't go that, just like the water won't go in there anymore. That's how I think of it. I think of money like water running through. So let me share with you one thing that you can try And I learned this studying with Marcus Weston, who is the head of the Kabbalah Center in London. And I studied Kabbalah with him for, oh, I think it was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, maybe a little longer, when he was in Los Angeles. So we had this conversation about the energy of money there. And I remembered that he would ask for donations from people who were like hoarders, or they were too frugal, or they didn't want to give up a buck for anything. And I remember he never asked me for a donation. And I said, how come you never ask me for a donation? I see you asking people for donations. You've never asked me. I'll give you a donation. And he said, that's exactly why I don't ask you. You don't need the work in that realm. You understand the energy of money. So for these others, they're the ones who have this big block where they're not understanding the energy of money. They're not allowing it to flow. And it can be something as simple as giving $1, $1 to unblock the dam. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't mean you go out and you give all your money away, because your responsibility is to take care of your needs, those of your family, into your community, right? That's your responsibility energetically. So it was brilliant. So we watched as everybody practiced this. Well, all right, I'm going to find a way to give $1. So I can remember I decided to test that a little bit myself too. I was in Chicago, cold winter day in February. I was studying with my mentor and teacher, Sonia Choquette, in Chicago for about a week, day and night. And we also were talking about the flow of energy and money. And when somebody comes up to you and they say, hey, can you spare, you got some spare change? I can't tell you how many people I see that say things like, get a job, or they just ignore them. And I remember Sonia saying, look, this is an opportunity to break through the monetary blocks that you have. If somebody asks you, look at them and say, yes, I can help you today. And thank you for the opportunity to be in service, to be able to help. Thanks for the opportunity to be able to help. Because the key was, you just don't go out there throwing dollar bills around. That doesn't do it, right? The key is that you wait until you are asked, and then you have permission to be doing the giving. Otherwise, people are writing checks and they're just giving to make themselves feel good. It's an ego thing. It doesn't have anything to do with the spiritual energy of money and what that can do for you, and engage the law of attraction and be able to get that to flow your way. It doesn't matter how much money you have, right? Or how much you're going to be giving. So I can remember walking down that street and a man who was newly homeless and had 3 kids. He was crying on the street. And he said, I'm really sorry, to ask you this. And I remember stopping and saying, no, just ask me, it's okay. And he said, I have a home. I can't pay the rent. I'm out here. I've never had to do this before. I opened my wallet and I just gave him, half of what I had. It's like, here's half for you. I don't need it this week. And what I did was, I didn't go out to eat. I didn't stop for happy hour. I didn't buy whatever, If you take a look, there's a lot that we spend on that we don't have to spend on. So I don't do that every time, right? I might have the next day on the same street, someone would say, hey, can you help me? And I'll say, I can't do that today, but I will the next time that I'm able to do it. And it just changes the energy with them. They, thank you for being honest with me. And I totally understand your situation. So the energy of money is something that can be understood and be worked. I'm going to do a workshop on it. Okay. So if you're listening and that's interesting to you, get on my e-list so you can get in on that workshop.